So if you got time to get ready, then you're gonna get hurt.
Oh, y'all hear that? We live.
Man, we live.
Listen,
Stay live.
BlackBox Radio. It's the corner. Community Corners in the house. It is 10, 11, 21. 10, 11, 21 is supposed to be Columbus Day. So that's what we at today. We're coming live in the box today. Community Corner. I got my wonderful co-host with me. We here chopping it up pre-talk. We just chopping and dropping dimes and jewels out here. I wish I could take what we was dropping, but I can't get everything. But we had a guest today. But first, let's talk about the guest. We had a guest, Mando, CEO of Secret Society, G. Butler. I haven't heard from that brother. So we're going to keep carrying on. The ship has to go forward. If he comes in, family, we happy to have him. If he doesn't, we about to rock the show anyway, ain't we, Toin?
That's right. We're gonna sail on like Columbus and them. We're gonna sail on like Columbus.
We on and popping. You better know it. So I'm Queen. Listen,
Know
BlackBox
that.
Radio. I'm a host here. We're a media platform for Black excellence. I'm looking for my Black boxes to listen, step up, subscribe to our website. It's scrolling across the bottom, blackboxradio.com, subscribe. Our social media, check us out. Listen, get in because we are a community movement. We're talking about everything out here, but everything is Black. Because we Black people doing Black thing and talking about all Black stuff. So, Toin, introduce yourself, bro.
My name's Juan Qualls, founder of Hope Baltimore, which is a support initiative to help formally impact the people to restore, build bridges, and find success as they transition upon release back into the communities.
That's right.
You can reach us at hopeinbaltimore.org on our website. There are live testimonies. There's a survey there. There are all sorts of things there to get in contact with us, or you can reach me at 443-449-4086 immediately, and I will respond.
Yes, today is Hat on Mondays. So you see, we both rocking. My brother hat to the back, and I'm twisted on the side. So we get ready to lay some jewels with our hats on. Right, Toin? That's your move anyway. That's how you roll anyway. I join you with the Hat on Monday. That's how we rolling today.
Hat on Monday.
Hat on Monday, bro. So our guest hasn't come through, but we don't cancel. We just keep it coming. We're going to talk. So we're going to talk about Baltimore today. We're just going to chop Baltimore up. We're going into fall. First, I want to say this is Columbus Day, which is, to me, really not a holiday. I live in truth, and that's a lie. And you can't discover something that people are actually inhabiting. There's no such thing. You can come and steal. You can come and chill with them. You can do whatever, but you can't say you discovered it. So, we have this national holiday that is not, to me, rooted in any truth. But it ain't nothing new going on in America. So the indigenous, they've kind of renamed it, Toin, to the Indigenous People Day for the Indians. You know what I'm saying? What you think about Columbus? That's your man's in them? What you think about him?
Columbus? I
Yeah,
mean, he was a felon. People don't really even understand the modality.
Keep still.
People don't even really understand the modality of what even happened with that, because Columbus and them and 4 others were actually put out of a prison and sentenced, and their measure of sentence away was them that they thought the earth was flat, that they thought they would fall off. And at this point where we are at in America was the northern hemisphere of a Mexim, right? And a Mexim is the second true name of Africa when the ship of the plates departed. So Africanus was an individual who was a navigator who had already been here. So basically, like when they was traveling and they got to the Bahamas and was on their way over to this northern hemisphere, Christopher Columbus thought that they was about to die, while Africana colonists was like, no, that's north of Mexico. It's land over there. So throughout the process, America has the first three letters of the word Amexem and the last three letters of the word Africa. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
So people have to like do their research and find out, like, because America uses broken language syllables. America do with conjunctions and pronouns. You remember when we was little, you had Bill on Top of the Hill, the conjunction cartoon.
I understand what you're saying.
So a lot of things in America are built off of words that are broken down syllable renames of true identity of things that really tells the real story of what it is.
Okay, so what you think about Columbus? We heard the history, love it. What do you think about that? What do you think about Columbus Day? What's that?
Columbus Day.
That's a holiday for you?
Huh?
That's a holiday for you?
I don't celebrate holidays.
I
don't celebrate holidays.
Okay. So it's not a holiday to you. So we're on the same page there.
I acknowledge things that I feel that's worthy of things for me to give grace to for people, but I don't celebrate holidays.
Okay. I understand. I get it. I'm not celebrated too much with these holidays because they're all contriving something that is malicious. If you go from, and it's all for capitalism, for you to actually pay into the system. So I don't really subscribe to Columbus Day and all of that, but today is that. And so we're going to talk about what I wanted to do is with our guests was to talk about the deliverance. So you deliver a country, we're going to deliver people. So we would talk about West Baltimore streets. The topic would have been West Baltimore streets to business owner. So we had your homeboy Mando in here and what he would have went through. But really, you went through the same thing. From West Baltimore streets to business owner. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Mando, it would have been rich to hear his story. But listen, we could still kind of delve into that kind of that conversation, because in all actuality, these streets is where you started too. So I don't know, a lot of people know your story and particularly know what AQ has done, AQE has done out here, but you've been through a lot. And so to get where you are now, it came with a price. Yeah. And so, it did. It absolutely came with a price. And that's why you're so effectual at what you do, because you know where you came from. So kind of give us a background of what West Baltimore was to you when you was growing up. Because when I first interviewed you, bruh, you told me you came off the steps at, I don't know, it was insane the age you told me.
I was running around outside at the age of between 5 and 7.
Wow.
So like when I say like coming off the steps, right? Like certain people have different analogies of it, right? Some people say, oh, yo, I came off the steps and came right into the game. You lying. You lying. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a time when you played on the front porch and played jacks, kick the rail, I dare you walk the rail, learn to do profiles. They are like your first survival skills, and like where I came up at in Park Heights off of Grantley, Ricerstown, Towanders, Oswego, Borman, Cold Spring.
Yep.
We did a lot of things like I played like I swam, played baseball, and played football. Loved it. Touch football, tackle on the concrete, speedball in the alley, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We pitched quarters, we pitched nickels. You know what I'm saying?
You did
We
all the
carry
stuff kids don't do today. Nobody does that now.
no. We carry bags to make extra money. We went to the store for the neighbors next door. We cut their grass. We did all that stuff, right? But there was also like the side piece to build your recognition in who you were in your community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like going to school, like we had to like from leaving from Dr. King, Malcolm X was like 7 blocks, like 5 or 6 blocks away from where I lived at, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that was the general elementary school that all of us went to, you know? So like there were times there were different sides of peoples, and in Park Heights, it was so split up between like the top, bottom, Park Circle, Shirley Avenue, Palmer Courts, and all that old stuff, right? That like as kids watching older guys and they having their reputation, you trying to emulate to be like them, walk like them, talk like them. You know what I mean? Like whatever they dressing in, like that's what I'm gonna get when I get older. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my uncles and them, my cousin and them, you know, but they're inspirational guys that like directly came from in my end about circle that had a major hold on our neighborhood that I really looked up to. Like I trusted in anything that they was doing than the own individuals in my family.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? They was my idols. They sat me down. They would talk to me. They would like sit on the curb and like throw touch football or get the glove, and you know what I mean? Even when they was hustling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The inspiration like about 9, 10, you know,
So
that's
wait
when
a minute.
I
Hold up for a minute. So let me clear it up for the black boxes. So you came off the 6 steps between 5 and 7,
yeah,
running around in the neighborhood doing you, right?
yeah.
By 9, what we doing?
By 9, 10, I had broken my first car.
By 9, 10 years old, you breaking in the cars.
Yeah, I
Okay.
broke in the cars. You know what
All
I'm
right.
saying? I was learning how to strip cars, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Um by by that that middle summer, you know, they was coming out with computers in school for summer school. And I was like, I'm not doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I like left and we would go ride bikes. We would go
Mm-hmm.
swimming. We would ride to Drew Hill Park. We would ride to Tawana. We would ride to Calla Hill, you know? And it was like around like 1980, 1981 that the drive of hustling, right, became attractive to me because I was hanging in, they had an arcade spot right out way called the Inferno, right? And a lot of like shot callers who was in our neighborhood, like we didn't call them dudes like shot callers. You know what I'm saying? They was like the big homies of the neighborhood. They
What's a
was
shot
like,
caller? Break down what you mean by shot caller.
so shot callers, right? And shot callers just like layman terms that came out like from out of like New York, LA, and these states, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like, but it took on a world vision of identity because so many people were collectively involved in it. So shot callers is like the individual or the circle who everybody goes to before a decision is made.
Mm. So they calling shots all day,
Plain and simple.
plain and
You know what
simple.
I'm saying? And at times there are like certain individuals as a collective team from out of that hood that comes together to make sure the decision is handled the way it is. From the elders from the porch to knowing who in the block, who to go to get them together, and y'all make the decision. That's the way organizations and communities was actually built. You know, today some of that's not there. You know what I'm saying? Today, some communities, it still is that, you know, but it's not prevalent as it was when I was coming up.
But let me ask a question. You being so young, like when I was young, I had no desire to. What about just playing and being a kid? Why is the desire to immediately you got to get money? Because of how oppressed the neighborhood. What makes young people from 5 to 7 up to 9 years old feel that they got to get some cash? Why can't young people of that age say, you know what, you know, they just want to play and be carefree like a child should be? Because this is, you're thinking like with adults, like I need some money, I need this, I need that. What makes a child that age do that?
So, like, the child becomes introduced to that by whoever the adults is around him.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got somebody around you that's older than you, that's always flashing money and telling you that you should always keep $5 in your pocket. And like one day they might say, hey, shorty, give me a quarter. And you like, I ain't got no money. And like, I did not tell you always keep $5 in your pocket. So now you're being trained to always have money. So by any means, and then when they start sitting you down and talking to you, so like if someone's telling you, like, Antoine, Lil Bam, like, don't worry about hustling. Worry about just being a kid. Worry about just going to school, playing sports, such. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't a lot in my story.
Got it.
You follow what I'm saying? Now, there are some dudes that I know that had family members that had that shit. You know, and I used to be on their porch and their families would say, hey, Bam Bam, listen, I understand you're a little bad boy and da-da-da-da. And you should, like, one of my friends' father used to say, I don't want you hanging with Bam because that boy going to jail. He used to be like, that's my friend. And he would literally get beatings because his sister would say, his father would like, such and such, where you at? And his sister would say, oh, he probably around the corner with Bam and them. Or he over there on the porch with Bam and them. And he would come up there and he's like, boy, come in, get you. You know how, and he was aggressive. And, you know, I used to be like, your father ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have that. So I didn't understand it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so at an early age,
you didn't have a father coming to the porch to get you off.
Hey, my grandmother used to call me, you know what I mean? And when I heard her voice, you know what I mean? They was like, yo, your grandmother calling you. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I knew what it was because I was in love, because I knew she was the only protector for me. Like, I ain't meet my father until I was 14.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, literally, I did not meet my father until I was 14, and I was somewhere and somebody was to me said, like, you know, that's your father right there.
What?
And then I said something to my aunt. And I said something to my aunt. And then my aunt was like, well, if you want to meet Ernie, I'll like take you to him. But like the next day, I'm down 1058. The same dude that I knew, that knew my mother, that knew me, that knew my aunt, he knew my family. He brought him up to me. You understand what I'm saying? So my experience of parenthood is totally different from a lot of people.
It is. So you're
No, he wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a stranger.
No, but listen.
I knew him.
Wait, listen to the question. So someone, when I say stranger, I'm not like a stranger like you didn't know. I'm saying, so it wasn't your mother, it wasn't your grandmother, it wasn't your family that introduced you to your father. It was somebody outside the family. That's what I mean by stranger. Not somebody that you don't particularly know, but not someone who you intimately knew in your family said, listen, you need to meet your father, and I'm going to take you to your father because a young man needs to know his father. None of that. No. Okay.
My grandmother and my grandfather like had me back and forth between each other.
Okay.
You know, and my grandmother had 5 children of her own, and she did her best to like be there to keep eyes on me, but she had them. And a lot of times, you know, my uncle and my aunt had me, you know, like my mother, like was young. She had me, and I don't know what the situation. I mean, I found it out, and you know, but like the thing is, I was angry about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in school, and you know, people parents would come up there, and you know, everybody like, yo, that's your mother, or they look just alike, or that's her father, or that's her mother. You know what I'm saying? But then like my grandfather would come up there and be like, yo, father, old as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's my
Kids are,
granddad, man. That's my
kids are,
granddad.
kids are
You know what I'm
brutal.
saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Opening arms, you know what I'm
Kids
saying?
are
Like,
brutal. Yes.
you know, and you know, and like I say, like my grandfather, you know what I'm saying, inspiring man. Like he one of the greatest individual mans I know. You know what I'm saying? He had his own dry cleaners, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He like was a leather suede refurnisher, you know what I'm saying? But like he was up, and what I was interested in, that wasn't his thing. You know, he tried his best to watch over me, but I was moving. You know what I'm saying? I was moving. So there were certain guys that he knew that could keep my attention. So he allowed them to deal with me in a certain way, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
And
So
you
what
know,
I'm
so
hearing,
like,
let me ask a question. What I'm hearing is the lack of structure um, in the neighborhoods. That's first of all, neighborhoods that are particularly oppressed. There's not a lot in the neighborhood, but the people trying to survive. And then
yeah,
it's not a resource laden neighborhood, it's resourceless with people who are surviving with their families, generation to generations. And sometimes the fathers are not present. So you're making it, your mother's young, she had you young. So you're with your grandparents who are a little slower because they are raised children. So
yeah, yeah,
you gets out the house early because everybody busy watching something else and you slipping out the door.
yeah, yeah. I'm gone.
Okay.
My grandmother used to like, Antoine, clean up. I'm like, Mama, I ain't doing that. She like, wash them damn walls, da 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 da. I got the music blasting. I'm listening to Run
Yeah,
DMC. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to
still.
Sugar Hill Gang. And she like, just go, just get outside, go, get, you know,
Yeah.
get. You know what I mean? Everybody knocking on the door. It's bang bang here. It's bang here. You know what I'm saying? Go, go, go. But you know, like my first attraction to the streets was there was a dude in our neighborhood named Rudy, right? And one day the ball went in the middle of the street on Righteoustown Road. We playing on Righteoustown Road, throwing the football. You know what I'm saying? Ball
Mm-hmm.
going in the middle of the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we trying to get the ball, but it's main traffic.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So nobody would stop. Rudy like, sure, y'all trying to get the ball? We like, yeah. He walked out and put his hand up and traffic stopped. He like, go get the ball. We like, yo, Rudy a fucking god. You see that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, every day, like me, man, us, we watching them and we just idolizing things they doing. We going to McDonald's on Cold Spring because McDonald's on Cold Spring on Sunday nights where everyone was at that was a star in the city. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So so around this time, you know, we growing up, we into that age, we like 10, 11, 12. We real open to trying whatever, emulating whatever. And we had individuals who took a liking to it. So, you know, little fighting starting to happen. You know what I mean? Dudes coming, we walking, we riding bikes, we meeting people. You know what I'm saying? We in different neighborhoods. We messing with different females. You know what I'm saying? So like things are happening, whereas though fights are beginning to happen. Now we beginning to find out who really is your team. You know, homie start saying like, Shorty, you and Shorty, y'all a good little squad together. Plus y'all always together, y'all this. And they used to like say like, y'all better not ever let either one of y'all go without fighting or whatever. And I remember one time something happened with some dudes from Spring Hill with one of my friends, and the dude like said they tried to bank him. So we smashed yo. We trashed yo. They come back up with all them little dudes, and they had a little dude named Lord DeWitt in our neighborhood, right? That a lot of people, you know, and people from Park Ice know, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like Shorty name would come, you know what I'm saying? But like all them came up there. I was the only one in the alley. They like, yo, my other homeboy, he hopped the gate, got out of there. Man, old big bro, Terry, like Shorty, he called up, he whistled, called up the street. Man, little Doc come, wop, come, you know what I'm saying? And then we get right back into it again. You know, so then as we gone, top, bottom, kick off, and I mean, from Ricestown and Borman, leaving Sussbourne to 6 blocks before we get to the school, we had to be ready to fight because at any given moment it would kick.
So we're talking about a neighborhood. I'm recapping what you're saying to make sure that I'm clear and everyone else is clear. So we're talking about a neighborhood that's resourceless, that has a lot of oppression. Black people are surviving, doing the best they can, taking care of their children. We got a few generations going on. We got young people. We got young folks. We have their own children. We got grandparents. Got 2 generations of kids in the house. You're going to school every day. You're seeing these fellas out in the street, these brothers who's making money. And now going to school is 6 blocks. To go to school every day in this neighborhood is like a potted keg. It could be a fight at any time.
Absolutely.
So before you go to school every day, you might be fighting. You might go through a brawl to get to school.
Before you go to school, while in school, after school.
All day, you're ready to fight. How do we learn when we're always ready to fight? How we learn?
Teachers did their best, you know, and some stayed a course, right? And things like that, right? And, you know, in the bathroom, you know, like I used to sell like dollar sticks of jade, dollar sticks of weed. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
how
old is that? How old is that? No, I don't know what that is.
I was 12. I was 12.
12 something. What's jade?
Yeah. Like what they call a blunt now, that's what a stick would have been.
That's a stick. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
but you
sell
know,
those for $1.
yeah, but you know, like back then, like you know, every generation goes through a different curve. You know, so like back then, starting off, that was the way that like you introduced and got in the game. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like anybody just couldn't come outside and just hustle like it is today. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody couldn't get their hands on it. And then there was dudes that was in the neighborhood that wouldn't allow it. But like, Quinn, I want you to like understand this, right? That there was a time that rec centers and all that stuff was open. I'm not going to say when I came up, it wasn't a lot of resources, because it was, because in the 80s, Baltimore was lead capacity on employment for like steel companies, warehouses, McCormick's and all that stuff. So like social service, libraries, after school programs, karate schools, the rec centers, all that stuff was open for us. But it was the individual's choice to play a part in that. You know, like I got some homeboys that stayed in the rec and played basketball till 7, 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? I got some homeboys that was in the kickboxing. You know, some like friends like that like learned certain skills and trainings that like that's what they did. But there were a lot of us that like that wasn't our interest. We went down there, we hung out for a few whatever. But like me, I didn't play basketball. So I'm not gonna be in the rec playing basketball because I don't know how to play basketball. Basketball is not my thing. I can't dribble. You know, so that wasn't so my thing was hanging up the block. You follow what I'm saying?
I'm hearing you because not every young person wants to do sports. So that's why the rec center can't just be sports affiliated. It needs to have technology. It needs to have other things in it to engage young people. Okay. So we got rec centers that was all about basketball and maybe something boxing or karate, something like that. But no other thing, nothing else to engage young people. So
you had home economics, and stuff like that. But you know, technology wasn't a prevalent thing back then.
Yeah, I'm saying now. I'm saying what they should do now. Yes. I understand that technology wasn't big then. Yes.
So like what happened was the police department came in the rec centers and took over.
Yes. The power.
You know, when they came in the rec center and took over, they had a selected pick of individuals who they wanted in the rec. You know what I'm saying? And then there was certain little young kids that they knew that certain homies liked it, that they was trying to use them for information. And little youngins then got jumped on because of certain things and unintentionally they might have said and didn't know that they said it.
Yeah, they getting caught up. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So their friends might like, yo, you need to stop running your mouth. You need to da-da-da. So what happened was it made those youngins not want to go to the rec, so they stayed on the corner. So what happened was basketball courts start being built at the corner where dope alleys were.
So wait a minute. So you're saying when the police took over the recreation, and this is when the 90s, 80s?
Yeah, they ain't take over the rec centers till late 1990.
Okay,
like 2000.
Yes,
yeah, so, like 2000.
So
like 2000.
Late 90s, early 2000, you had the PAL, right? That took over the rec centers. So within them doing that, they started having their picks of who they would let in the rec centers. So certain kids can come in and certain couldn't. And the ones that they wanted to get information from the boys on the street, the shot callers, they'd try to get information from the kids. Is that what was going down? So that drove them out of the PAL Center because they didn't want to be questioned and actually get in trouble in the hood.
Absolutely, because like at the end of the day, they got to come back on that block.
Yes, and the police is gone.
You know, and when you having community meetings and people saying, "Well, officer such and such told us Miss such and such grandson or son said this." One thing for certain, information in the hood is known long before anybody else that's outside the hood. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if somebody knows something outside the hood, trust and believe the hood already know it.
Got it. So now we got young people don't want to go to the rec center that is open because they said that it was a lack of kids accessing the rec center. And that was one of the reasonings for closing. But reason why I want the people to understand is the police was in the rec center questioning young people and being divisive in the hood.
Exactly. So they was in danger.
Said, I ain't going back. I'm gonna hang on the corner. So that's
they was in danger.
Okay.
Yeah, they was in danger. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And like they ain't never hide nothing because they done put movies and documentaries out about Baltimore where they done shown this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There are families in the city who have certain nephews, nieces, and sons who done like literally got hurt or may have passed, you know what I'm saying, because of certain incidents like this.
Incidents like what? What you mean? Like with the cops running their mouth and talking
Yeah.
about, yeah.
Yeah, making sure and tricking Shorty and them because they never been trained what not to say when talking to a police. I was taught at an early age, you don't talk to the police about anything. Nothing.
Because
you know,
I want folks to understand why that's happening in to a lot of our youth who learn early not to communicate with the police. They said, well, the police is there to help, but in our neighborhoods, we're policed. We're not assisted. We're not protected. In your neighborhood, you might be protected. We're policed. And so you learned early that is somebody you don't communicate with. There's an adversarial connection with the police in our hoods, in African neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
And that is this is why we see now, we're talking about the 90s now, late 90s, early 2000s. We in 2021, and we see the manifestation of these relationships, the breakdown of the rec center, no place for the young people to go, because they bring the police into the rec center. Because really, if it's a place of recreation, why do you need police?
You don't need police because, like,
that's what I'm saying. Why do you bring the police? Because you want to police the children. You're afraid of the children. That's why you bring them in. So this is the reason why we're here today. People say, oh, there's no rec centers. They got rid of the rec centers, and it was a systematic movement to get rid of them.
Absolutely. Okay, that was a systematic design to get rid of that stuff.
That's right.
That was a design. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's
what you got to get out, because a lot of people say, well, these hood kids, they don't appreciate nothing, they tear up. No, the system comes in and breaks down the safe havens for young people in their neighborhoods, because when it comes to it, they are afraid of Black children. They're afraid of African neighborhoods and African children. So they come in looking to police them from a young age, and they recognize it and they don't want any parts of it. Go ahead.
Like systemically, right?
Right.
Everything falls inside the black butterfly and the school to prison, and the school to prison pipeline, right?
Right.
Because inside those two regiments, right, it's about targeting people, targeting parents, breaking down households, and having lack of resources. So what happens is the same scientific method that they study on the rodent resistance of like rats and gorillas attacking each other is the same systematic maze that they are using by design to break us down as a culture of people.
Oh, hold up. You thought, listen, that's a jewel. That is an absolute jewel, because what you're saying is the behaviors of rodents and the highest form of the jungle, the gorilla, or the highest form of animal existence, which is a gorilla, was scientifically tested, watched, and they collected information to be able to control African people. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. It's called the theory of the prologue of the 5 P's, right? Proper planning prevents poor performance, right? Oh. Whereas though, if you properly plan to break a people that's strong in will, you know what I'm saying? They will, if they don't have what makes them strong in will and unified, then they will poorly perform. If they poorly perform, then conditionally, like they will in turn on each other, because one, where they give to the Baltimore crab syndrome, where they say the crab in a bucket. Everybody in Baltimore is like a crab in a bucket. Everybody in Baltimore is like a crab in a bucket. Everybody in Maryland. But we have been systemically forced to be this way by design to make us actually at the end result have high crime rates where you'll existently kill each other before you can make it out.
Well, let me tell you something about a crab. A crab exists in the ocean floor. If you there has to be a barrel created to put the crab in. So I want people to understand that if it's no damn barrel, then the crab don't have to pull nothing down to get out. But if you create the barrel and put the crab in it, it naturally wants to get back to its habitat. So it's going to use any means necessary to get there because it's a crab. So when people say crabs in the barrel, you don't talk about the crab. You need to talk about who created the damn barrel.
Like, why was the barrel created, right?
Thank you. Why you create the barrel?
All right. Let's say this. Why was a barrel created for crabs, right?
Right.
And why was a prison system created that conditionally houses black people?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is someone has to bet. When I'm saying that, it's using symbol. I'm being symbolic.
I know what you're saying.
If you create the barrel, then the crab is going to do what it naturally does. So you do the same thing with African people. You create barrels. You create these spaces where people pull and yank and hurt and maim to get forward because the barrel is created. But if you gave people equity, if you gave people places where they can go forward, you gave them systems that they could actually grow into, there's no such thing as a barrel. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Like one of the greatest things, right, that has been said, proven fact. Like most economy systems in Baltimore alone, or business in Baltimore alone, that's doing well in urban communities, are all ran by people who either got high for heroin or some type of drug addiction, or formerly incarcerated.
Most, you gotta say, I'm not really sure what that.
Most businesses that are in urban communities that are doing well in Baltimore, from transitional housing to owning housing to barbershop, bootleg boutiques, car lots, are even ran by individuals who at one time, like, man, they crazy, they shoot dope, they get high, they da pop pop, or like they sold drugs, they shot people, they they criminals, they've been locked up all their life. But we are the ones who are relieving people from finding measures to be stuck in a barrel.
Okay, now we're not gonna say most, because we got other and when I say most, I'm saying social. What you're saying in a social standpoint, what happens is people who are hurt or who have hurt, they usually know how to actually respond to trauma. So since you've been through this process, you can come in the neighborhood and actually rescue people. But then not only do we have that greatness in our neighborhood, people who've already offended or who've been offensive, but now we also have the other dichotomy in our neighborhoods. We have other people making money off of us. So we have this synergy in our neighborhoods. But the people who are rescuing us are usually the people who needed to be rescued. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. The ones who are rescuing, are the individual who at one time needed to be rescued.
Absolutely.
And in their process of being oppressed in the rescue, they did whatever they had to do so they could lead a pathway for others to be rescued.
Yes.
They even sacrificed their existence and freedom so that others could move along. You know, like me and Mando always talk about, like, everybody wants to be a boss, but people don't understand. And being a boss comes with individuals who first was made men. But what about the man who made the made men so he could wind up becoming the boss?
You better drop it like it's hot.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, most of the times in communities, that's why dudes are so loved, because the community made them a certain way. So they have a factual relationship of how to deal with those to stand up against those who are oppressive, but say that they the bosses and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna rescue you. Just put your trust in me, trust and believe I could change this, I could change that. But yet they have no identity on how to come in and deal with the change.
Because most of the times you have to walk the path to have empathy for the path. You get what I'm saying? You look at who are all of the policymakers in the country. They're millionaires. You got everybody who is in Congress and Senate. They're big money people, but they're the ones making laws for poor people. It is very hard to legislate for something you've never done or never had to do or never been a part of. So that's why we see this lack of policy for the lower end, and we see substantial policy for the 10% and for the rich, because the people who make the damn policy are poor. And so that's the same thing you see in our neighborhoods, is the people who would ramshack the neighborhoods, who were getting high, who was carrying the hell on, who did so much in the neighborhood. They're the ones rescuing now because they did it. They know how it feels. They know how to get back. They know how to survive. So that's what we need. But we need to find out the precipice of why we have so much trauma at the beginning. And we gotta give the state 10 and 15, 20 years before we can come back and flip it. You get what I'm saying?
Because everybody keep relying on the state. You need to rely on the people.
Ow, you better say it.
The state don't exist without people.
Talk about it.
Maryland is just some land without people living in it.
All day. The people are the power.
The people are the power.
All
like
day.
Policy comes from the root word of policing.
Ow.
Both of them had the same root word. So what's the difference between policy and policing? There is no difference.
There's no difference. They both keep you in spaces. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A politician's campaign need 250,000, right?
Right.
A commissioner of a police get paid 250,000.
Ow. Yeah.
I'm calling the facts on what the facts is. You know what I'm saying? That's all I like, and that's why, like, Queen, that's why I always say, people always say, well, you know, you always talk about the right to vote, you always talk about the unit rule, you always talk about freedom for ex-offenders. And I said, they are the main three things that keep us police. If we have an understanding of how to live in a way where we have like equal chance, right? That if my aunt and my family that went to college and has a good job know how to get with her sister or her cousin that's struggling, getting high and running the streets, and say, listen, you need to come off that, strengthen yourself up, and I'm gonna like ride with you, but I'm not gonna do the work for you. I'm gonna help you. And then she begins to get up, they're gonna reach back and get another. So we gotta figure out a way to start identifying the trauma, healing our spaces of these scars, and bring our people back together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I watch it even in my family with certain people that I be with, and I'll be like, hey, you know, this family and such, they like, who's that? And I'm like, that's such and such daughter, or that's such and such nephew, or that's such and such son, or that's such and such niece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right now, like it was systematically a thing to kill off the elders in our family. So all of them had high blood pressure, triple bypasses, sugar diabetes, and things of that nature. And when they died off, because everybody thought they was going to live forever. So the wills was done and they was left in somebody's hands, and they wasn't the right one because they ain't know how to manage the money. Now when beef comes up because I want part of this, I want this, and how you gonna sell mommy out? And you know what? Take you and your kids, you need to mind your business anyway. So now you got a split in the family, ain't nobody messing with nobody, and who gets it the worst? The child that's coming up in that last generation.
That happens. That absolutely happens. I mean, this conversation is so multi-layered because we could go in so many ways. It's community. And it goes back to like when we talked to Lynn Twyman, you know, when it comes to when she said about domestic abuse, the way that we function in our neighborhoods, in our hoods from the beginning is abusive. You are born into a domestic situation that is abusive. And a lot of times it is definitely, it comes from society's ills, and it comes into the household and it manifests into an abusive state. And then you see you at 5 to 7, you come off the stairs. 9 to 10, you're breaking into 9 to 10, you're selling dollar sticks of weed. 12 years old, you're breaking into cars, getting money.
9 to 10, I was breaking into cars.
Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, do it.
You know what I mean? By 12, I was selling Jay's weed. By 13, I had my first gun. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I was selling dope. I was getting high for dope. I was getting high for heroin. You know what I'm saying?
Stop. You're killing me. So you're saying 9 to 10, breaking into cars, 12-year-old, you selling weed, sticks of weed for $1. That's when you can get a lot of weed. You used to get a bag of weed for $10. Now you might, I don't know how much you get because I don't know nothing about that world, but you definitely don't get no weed.
No.
But anyway, so you were selling $1 sticks of weed, and then by 12,
by 13, 14, I was selling dope. What? I was selling dope and carrying guns.
At 13, 14 years old?
Yeah, me and 10 of my homeboys.
Did you say you and 10 other people?
Yeah.
Selling drugs, carrying guns at 13, 14 years old in Park Heights.
Yeah, but that was a lifestyle we was in because, like, Queen, motherfuckers was done. Like, I always tell people this, right? Like, Baltimore always had crazy murder rates. Social media just made that shit prevalent.
They just caught up.
It just made everybody be able to see it.
Yeah.
Like, this shit been happening.
It's been happening. Yeah.
Like, I got dudes like that, like me and one of them homies, we was talking the other day about some dudes, and I was like, damn, I forgot about what's up with yo? He was like, yo, you remember yo died back in like 89. And I was like, damn. Like, yeah. And I'm talking about, like, and there's other homeboys that may be listening to this or that may hear this that'll say the same thing.
It's scary.
There are homies that died that shouldn't have died because they didn't even get a chance to even like be in that shit. They was good dudes. But then you got some cats that, like, I always say this, there's some cats that I came up in the city when I came up. If they were alive today, they would have been fucking bullies. And like, it would have been ugly out the smoke. I mean, like, ugly.
So, wow. It's really unfortunate. We losing all these lives early, but it starts from the abusive part of the neighborhood and how the neighborhood has lack of resources. The families have a lack of resources. The schools, you say you're fighting on the way there, in the school, after school. And then you go to rec centers that's being policed by the police league. So you don't want to go to them. You go to the corner. So the corner becomes the spot.
So
that's where everything goes down.
So the corner became my education. You know what I'm saying?
All day.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, like, I went to like the second month of my went to 9th grade.
Okay.
I didn't go to school. Pimlico didn't want me no more, so they put me the fuck out. So Forest Park had a 9th grade. You know what I mean? Then they said, no, we're gonna pass them and put them in the 10th. I went to school for 1 month and I was like, yo, fuck this shit. All right, man, I'm done. You know what I mean? When I caught my sentence and went to prison.
Wait. I don't want to laugh because you're crazy. Did you say
this shit's serious, man?
I know it's real, and I'm not laughing. It's so real that it's and I'm not laughing at it. But you're saying 10th grade, you said for 1 month, you said, listen, I ain't doing this no more.
No, I ain't doing this shit no more.
And so what do you do after at 10th? Because in 10th grade, I was moving towards get ready to take my SATs. You know how different our lives are. you know, like going to get ready to go to college. Like, how am I going to college? You are dropping out of school and doing what, my brother?
Selling dope.
Selling dope, yo. Get it right.
I'm getting high. Like, it's not like listen to me, Queen. Like, and I don't want nobody to think that I honor that shit, but it was my life.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell no kid to get high or drop out of school, because the only way you gonna really find out, like they say, school is to teach you the things you need to learn about the world. The street can't teach you that shit. The street can teach you what the maneuvers are that people gonna do in the world and what you need to be aware of in this economy and money system, right? And the treachery that exists in people in power and positions and even friendships, right?
Right.
But to learn the government, politics, and educational shit, how to write, comma, punctuate, and present yourself, the school teaches you that shit.
Gotcha.
The streets can't give you that. You know what I'm saying? So I was so far behind that it was certain dudes while we were in prison that pushed me to get my diploma, because I was like, the hell with that shit. Yo, I ain't, man, listen, bro. And you know, my family was like, what you gonna be 40, 50 years old still trying to sell dope? You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't gonna work. You really gonna be trying to be 40, 50 years old trying to like say black and white, 745 and all that dumb shit, you know? But I'm so grateful that the existence of it ran out on me when it did. You understand what I'm saying? Because it gave me a chance to really see basically what I was missing out on life because the upbringing that I didn't have.
Got it. Got it. This is why upbringing is so important. And so, what's wrong with your camera, bro? What are you doing?
Now my phone dying. My phone dying, and that's like the cord is not long enough.
That's fine. That's fine. It's all love. We real out here. We got a dying phone, but we still talking.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, we're gonna make that thing work. So that you said something powerful. You know, because I like to put things in. The streets teach you how to maneuver. The schools teach you how to negotiate life and exposes you to the possibilities. So this does not happen in our hoods. This is what our children, people say, well, why the kids are so bad? And what kids aren't bad. What is happening is our young people have no exposure. They have nobody who is actually pouring greatness into them. And so you see how we've now over the years manifested all of this lack of, and now we got murders everywhere. We got drugs, these drugs, the drug game has even shifted. The pill is taking over. You know, we got drugs on the street that we can't even make ourselves. We cannot come up with fentanyl. Where's it coming from? It's not coming from the hood. It's coming into the hood, but it's not coming from the hood. So we got all of these factors in our neighborhood. So, but I'm talking about now. But when you were growing up, so you banging, you in the street, it's jail time. Tell us about it.
You know, my daughter was born. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was the greatest day of my life. I was, like I say, like I started getting high at the age of like 13. You know what I'm saying?
You started getting high at 13.
I fell in love with that shit. You know what I mean? I smoked marijuana. I smoked marijuana a few times. I didn't like it because it made me eat and put me to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I woke up, all kinds of shit had happened. They was like, yo, you was asleep. We done this. We did that, yo. You know, so, you know, the fashion was the dudes who played the game and was the stars, you know, was the ones who was getting high. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing when I was coming up.
Getting high for what? What we getting high on?
Off of her.
Okay.
Yeah. But like what I would say, right? that's the associated group that I was shown.
Got it.
You know, because wasn't nothing slick about that shit. Because at the end of the day, I remember being around people that was shooting dope, and I was like, yo, they fucked up, yo. They can't walk, they ill, they throwing up, they shitting on themselves. And
Ooh.
never in my life did I see that ever happening to me. You know what I'm saying? Never in my life did I see me laying on floors and on front porches and couldn't move without being having to have dope in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, never did I ever think that that shit would like send me away and me be out my daughter's life for over 2 fucking decades. You know what I'm
Drugs.
saying?
Drugs.
Drugs. Drugs. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Like, and like I'm 40 something and I'm just learning the education and the means of working when people learn that shit at 15, 16.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter mother like did the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? When like I was envy and angry when she left me, but she did the best thing for my daughter and her, because what the fuck I'ma do? I had 20 years at the age of 18. I had 20 fucking years. And expecting her to say, oh, I'm gonna stick with you, boy. We're gonna do this together. You know what I'm saying? And some of my homeboys at the end of the day, man, they seen me cry, they seen me break, they seen me go into a mode. Mando was there, seen me go into a mode of straight snap, and it was what it was. And I continue getting high. I continue catching dope in prison. I got locked up again in prison and caught a whole nother fresh fire. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing. You know, it's just like the choices that I made, Queen. You know, and I seen everything from the drug game. I seen it all. The robberies, the grabs, the stick ups, the homelessness, the being locked up, get locked up today, get out on bail, and locked back up 2 hours later after y'all done made bail.
Oh my Lord. Jeez.
I seen all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I said that when I got this job and they told me, they said, listen, as long as you give us your all, we guarantee you your life gonna get better. You know, and they said, Antoine, just give yourself a chance. You know, and
wait. Before we get here, this is after prison. So you
this at the four incarcerations.
Wow. All right. So when you tell them it's four, and all of the incarceration was something with drugs, guns.
Yeah.
Always in that movement, right?
Yeah. Okay. Always with drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 2 of them was involved with something to do with some guns.
So it's always something that you shouldn't have been into, in other words. And so drugs and guns. Okay, so those four different stints in jail, right? Okay, and it took 20 years. Was that 20 years out of your life? Okay, so 20 years, that's a long time. So you come out here and you out here. Are you sober? When you get out, are you sober?
No, when I came home, I was getting high. When I came out of prison, on those times, I was getting high because I was catching dope inside.
Y'all hear that? The prison got dope in it. The place where you go for
no, like
they bring it in.
Like I made a way to like get it in. I knew
what I'm saying.
me and my peoples, you know what I'm saying? Because like Queen, like when people say that, you know, like, cause I had somebody, like mother called me the other day and said that her son told her, like, yeah, man, you know, I'm still getting high and such. And she said to me, like, well, do the prisons have dope strips in them? You know what I'm saying? I said, miss, listen, like, no matter where people are, crime is going to be, and legitimate ways for people to survive is going to be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing is, he has to make the choice whether that's not going to be him, or like the urge of him saying that shit ain't nothing gonna stop me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was with me. My urge was like, shit, yo, whatever we did on the streets, we gonna do here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like my story is a blessing and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing my best to like re-heal a lot of the scars that had happened. You know, and one of the greatest scar was like the scar that was left on my daughter and her mother. You know what I'm saying? That was the intentional greatest scar on me. You know what I'm saying? Because like there are things that like I never like been to a school event with my daughter.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? I never been to a school trip. I never paid for a school trip. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, my daughter 31. You know what I'm saying? And like I've been home now 8 years, right? And in this time, you know, I just begged her to give me another shot. I just asked her. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of like she one of the greatest gifts in life. You know what I'm saying? She is, man.
That's
Like
beautiful.
and I always tell people, like, long as you never give up, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta show people what it is that you're really doing, you know, and the dudes, the people, the places, the things, she didn't see a lot of that stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? She didn't see me going by the name Bam and all that shit no more. So she knew that there was a difference in me. You know?
Yeah.
You
So she
know,
gave you a
like,
chance.
yeah.
Yeah. You know
Man.
what? This story is juicy. We didn't even get to the business part of it because we're gonna do a part 2 on that. We're gonna leave it here. This is the come up. We're talking about what you went through. You know, we had our guest. He didn't show up, but you you definitely sat in the chair and took over. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you did the same thing. You went from West Baltimore streets to a business
Streets to the
owner.
seats. Streets to the
Yeah,
seats.
streets to the
That's
sea.
where it came from. Streets to the seats, mama.
Absolutely. And you did it. And so we're going to talk
Thank
about it
you.
again. When we don't have a guest again, we're going to put this part 2 down. But, you know, I want everybody to know my co-host is the bomb. And he got the story of the story. And the biggest thing with you, Toin, that I respect so much is you've been through it. And you here toiling and you're trying to bring better. You're trying to put good in the game. And that's what we have to do. We have to redeem ourselves in some way, and that's what you're doing with your life. So I appreciate this story because it's hard for people to even understand that 5-year-olds is off the steps. 5 and 7-year-olds are off the steps already maneuvering in the game. They're getting prepped to get into the game. By 8, 9, they're doing something, selling drugs, doing something, right?
You know, like today, right? Like a youngin' really don't have a chance, right? Because out of say, let's say this, right? Let's say you got 20 houses on a block.
Okay.
And out of those 20 houses, let's say 6 houses have 1 or 2, 3 kids in them, right?
Right.
Everybody that they got to watch is on the corner. You understand what I'm saying?
Everybody's
So
on the corner. That's all it is.
everybody's on the corner.
So
So
that's
that's all they see.
Yeah, we said it together. That's
A
all they
youngin, a youngin is going more do what he see than more when somebody tell him. I
action.
did it. My uncle will say the same thing. Our older homies will say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because at that age, you're looking to figure it all out.
Action speaks louder than words. Action
So
speaks louder than words. And so we're going to continue. We're an hour in. I mean, I enjoyed this because I'm listening to, I can't, we live such, it is a blessing that we came together, but we live such different lives. I came from support. I came from 2-parent household, a lot of support. I'm so blessed. And I didn't even know I was blessed. Complaining that, my mom always in my business, but not knowing that I was blessed, and then I hear your story of such individualism, having love. You had love in your life. Your grandma loved you, your family loved you, but it was so much going on in the neighborhood.
And I love my neighborhood. I
Yeah.
love my motherfucking neighborhood. Get it twisted.
Don't get it.
2800, 4200 to 44 to 4100, Park Heights, Ricestown, Juanas. Love it to death.
Love it to death, right?
I do it all over again.
Wow.
With the same individuals. I would do it all over again.
And the blessing, now that you wish you could save some of those people, that you lost. But listen, we're gonna continue this. Mando, I'm coming for you, bruh. So I guess it's your week, but I'm coming, Mando, I'm coming for you. I'm saying it on mic. I'm coming for you, Mr. Secret Society.
Those,
so
good.
Tell that brother I'm coming for him. You don't be not showing up with the box. What's wrong with Mando? This is the second time, Toin. Talk to your homeboy. Sure. But anyway, this was a real robust conversation about West Baltimore and Park Heights in the 80s and the 90s when Toin grew up. And we want to see, now we see a place that is going to be gentrified, but it's been left to decay. And now that they're now going to restart, they put some federal and state money into Park Heights. That's getting ready to happen. They're going to revamp, of course, the moneymaker, which is the track. And all the things around it will benefit. I don't know if it's going to benefit the people because they moved the people out 4 or 5 years ago. Most of the people. Am I right?
I rode through that motherfucker over there. That shit.
It's desolate. It's desolate over there.
Like people I knew, families of people who lived there. That shit just an empty lot.
It's just an empty lot. And so this is what we deal with in Baltimore. They just let things decay and sit. They remove people, and then now they come reinvest and bring a whole different type of people inside those neighborhoods. So that's what's going to happen in Baltimore now. But we're talking about what was happening in those neighborhoods when Toin was a young man. And so even the school he talked about, Martin Luther King, is closed.
Yeah, Green Spring, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. It's only it was 7 schools up there. They only got 2 schools open up there. That shit is insane.
Okay, and I said, tell the names. I want to hear the names. We got Martin Luther King. Go ahead.
King. You had Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. Go ahead.
52, 69. You had Green Spring. You had Ashburton.
Langston Hughes.
West McKendrick. Well, West McKendrick across the tracks, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking on Ricestown and Park Heights side.
Yes.
All those I just named, those were the ones that was on Park Heights side. And they
do you
all
guys hear the names? Do you hear the names of those schools? Those
Pimlico
are our
Elementary.
Leaders. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Langston Hughes, all closed. Now they open a new school. They name it a new name. So they get rid of our schools. So in the same neighborhood, all of our leaders who were naming those schools have been closed. That means something, because that's why they have statues all over the country, because those names, you are able to see them over and over, and you bring reference to them. There's no reference to our leaders. Our schools are closed. Our children don't even go to schools with their leaders on. But anyway, so that's what happened in Park Heights. We saw the decay of Park Heights. We're going to talk about it again and continue this conversation. But when we don't have a guest, we got to do our own stuff, right, Toin? This is the corner.
Absolutely. It's always the corner. Don't nothing stop on the corner.
Nothing stopped. The corner is always rolling. It's an economic powerhouse. The economy of this corner that we're giving you is called information. So that's the economy of this corner. So listen, y'all better check out this merch at BlackBox Radio. We got that banana cream V on today. You see that, Toin?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
So
we
you
got
got
that banana queen V. We're gonna have to, y'all gonna have to come take a look at this merch over here. But anyway, so Twan, give us the last jewel. Put the jewel down tonight. The last piece of the
you
conversation.
know, a lot of people like lost valuehood of human existence in Park Heights, right? No doubt.
No doubt.
And all across West Baltimore, right? But some of the greatest examples of economy stability in America came from out of West Baltimore. So that's what gives me hope every day. That because I know what came from the Ricerstown Road runs. You know what I mean? So I know where I come from. I come from greatness out of the city. So no.
Yeah, greatness.
Great.
And we still over here in West Baltimore and we twirling. I love that. Some of the greatest economy came out of West Baltimore. Love that. Absolutely. Love that. And that's what born my man Twan. So this is hat on Mondays. I'm gonna wear something for you. Listen, mine says know your worth. I want y'all to really look at that. Know your worth. Know what you will take and what you won't take. You got to know that. You got to weigh your worth because people only treat you like how you allow them to treat you. That's
Facts.
it.
Facts.
Know your worth. Black people, understand your worth. All right, Twan. We the corner, the community corner. We boxed up and out. Can we get that deuces?
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
All right, black boxes, we out.
Peace.
Peace.